Hello YouTube and welcome to my channel. Today I'm going to show you the digital cage cluster of the new 2022 BMW X3 M40i. BMW calls this Live Cockpit Professional. It's a 12.3 inch wide digital gauge cluster, and this comes standard on the M models, which is the X3 M40i and the X3M. On the X drive and the S drive there is an option available if you want to get this. Otherwise I think those model comes with a smaller screen and some analog displays. So as you can see, in the default mode, comfort driving mode, the feel of the Live Cockpit Pro is more amber and orangish. When I move to the Eco Pro mode, it turns blue, and when I move to the Sport mode, we get deep red on the sides. So those are the three different views that you get on the Live Cockpit Professional. I will also try to show you the different options that we get with these Live Cockpit Professional. I'll go back to comfort zone for a moment there. Yeah, so as you can see, there are broadly three sections of the screen. On the left side there is the speedometer. I have set the speedometer to show readings in both miles per hour and kilometers per hour. You can set only one unit, and then in the center section you have the navigation. So that's the inbuilt navigation. If you are plugged in, or if you're connected to, there is wireless connection in X3 to Android Auto and Apple CarPlay. If you're connected to Apple CarPlay or Android Auto and you're running Google Maps or Apple Maps or Waze, then this map doesn't come. It just shows guidance. So like, right after 150 feet or left after 4 miles, but it doesn't show the navigation as in the roads and the maps. But if you use the inbuilt navigation of BMW, the entire map will come. And on the right side is the tachometer, which you can see it shows RPM right now in the comfort mode. The right side view changes when you change the mode that you want to drive the car in. So if I go to Eco Pro, you can see that the right side now displays mileage. Right now my car is giving 19.6 mpg. I mostly drive within the city, so it's kind of okay for a performance car. But yeah, when I go on highways, on freeways, it goes up to 21 and sometimes 22 mpgs as well, depending upon how good the traffic is. So this is on Eco Pro. You can see mileage there, and then on the bottom right you see the charge. So X3 M40i specifically comes with a mild hybrid engine, and the battery with the engine gets charged through regenerative braking. So whenever you brake the car, there is energy that gets generated in the wheels that is used to charge the battery. So there is no plug-in system here. We cannot charge that battery. It charges on its own through the way you drive and whenever you brake. So whenever there is a charge that goes to the battery, you will see a mark there on the bottom right where it shows the battery sign. It shows whether it's charging or not. So those are the three different sections of the screen. Let me go to the sport mode as well. And sport mode, and you can see it goes back to the displaying the RPM on the right side, which is similar to the comfort mode. In the center on the top, the two lights that you see are actually not visible to the naked eye. You can see them in the video because the camera is catching those infrared rays. It's actually the driver attention cameras, and it's used as part of the driver assistance systems if you opt for the driver assistance professional package, which I did with this X3 M40i. So more on that in a separate video where I'll cover driver assistance package, but for this video I think we're going to cover the 12.3 inch Live Cockpit Professional screen. You can see the three different sections of the screen. Now let me take you through the different options available. So on the right side, starting with the left side, pretty much you have the the speedometer. You can see the speeds. You can also on the bottom side you can see the speed limit, So that updates whenever you move from one speed limit zone to another speed limit zone. You can see time, you can see which passenger or the driver is not buckled up. You can see how many miles you can go on the gas that you have in your tank. Then you can obviously see the the level of gas left in the tank, and then those are the standard light indicators for headlights and high beam. So that's the left side. In the middle, as I said, you can see the map, and if you're using the BMW default inbuilt navigation, you can also see the route on this whenever you set a destination. And in bottom, just below that, you can see the the name of the road where I am currently my car is parked. And you can also see on the right to Northwest Square, you can see which mode the car is in right now. So it's Sport Plus. I will cover the different driving modes in a separate video, but Sport also comes with a Sport Plus and a Sport. I think the other one is Sport Standard, just giving you a quick look. And then there is a Sport Individual. So there are three. So I can set to my liking how I want the Sport mode to be, or BMW gives a High Sport mode where everything is ramped up, and then there is a Sport Standard setting. So more on that later in a separate video. Coming back to the Live Cockpit Professional, and moving to the right side of the screen. Now before I move to the right side of the screen, the center display changes if you switch on the driver assistance system. So I will switch on that for a minute, and you can see now I can see my car, and it's standing right now in a lane. But if I'm driving, I can see the cars in front of me. I can see the cars in immediately the next lane on the left, and immediately the next lane on the right. I can see whether it's a car, it's a truck, and then I can select whether I want just the active cruise control or the adaptive cruise control, as we say in some cars, or I also want the assisted driving, which means active lane keep assist. And you can see those two icons which have now appeared under the speed, where the speed is coming 0 miles per hour. You can see those two icons. The icon on the left is for active cruise control or adaptive cruise control, and the right is actually for active lane keeping assist. And these two options only come with driving assistance professional package if you opt for that, and that package right now is only available in the M variants of X3. It does not come with the X-Drive, which was a real bummer when I went shopping for this BMW. So but I did opt for driver assistance package in my M40i. It is really helpful, both while during city driving as well as on freeways and highways. So more of that in a separate video. Coming back to the Cockpit Professional, so that's how the display changes. You will still get guidance from the navigation irrespective of what navigation you're using, whether it's the inbuilt GPS navigation for BMW, or you're using Android, Apple, or Apple CarPlay, Android Auto. You will get those kind of cards that tell you, on top of the lane, underneath the M40i logo, you'll get if there is a right turn coming up in 200 feet or a mile or 2 miles. So you'll get all those visual guidance still, even if you are in the driving assistance mode. So I'll switch it off and go back to the map. On the right side, you can see there is a RPM meter there, and you can see in the center it shows no active intermittent sources. So if you're playing some music, if you're playing Sirius XM, maybe let me go to Sirius XM. That comes with the car for at least a year. You get free subscription. You can hear the music as well. So let me switch off the music, and then you can scroll through different options, different stations. And there is a scroll. I don't know whether you can see it or not. Let me switch on the light. Here the scroll is, and you can simply scroll on that and go to a different station. It's that easy. So a good visual cue you get right on your digital gauge cluster for scrolling through different Sirius XM stations or FM stations. or maybe if you're connected to Android Auto and you want to just shuffle through your music, you can also do that with this scroll and these arrow buttons on the sides. I'm not sure whether you can see that or not. Let me switch on the light again. These arrow buttons, so you can toggle through your music on the phone. Coming back to the screen, there are multiple options or multiple views available on how you can configure this right side of your Live Cockpit Professional. One of them is obviously what we just saw, that selecting the viewing the station or viewing the audio source which is playing currently in a car. There is a toggle button on the left knob behind the steering wheel, so when I press it you can toggle between different views. This just tells me that my car is currently in sport mode, which it should not. Let me move it to comfort. I was just standing here, so I don't want extra fuel to be burnt. And it's in parking mode right now. And then the next option that I get is mileage. You can see it's 19.6. As I said, it's I usually drive within the city, so it's not high-speed driving, it's not long driving, it's not cruise driving, so that's why it's 19.6. But on highways, if you're a frequent driver, to the city, to downtown, and you're spending a lot of time on freeways, on cruise, it can go up to just 22 miles per gallon. That's the best I have seen. But yeah, 19.6 is the average so far, and I have, I think, driven almost now 900 miles since I got this car. Some data around how much I've driven. So 900 miles, and this gives you torque and horsepower. So as you're driving and as you're really amping up on the accelerator, it will just show how many horsepower and what's the torque being generated by the car. So well, the maximum horsepower for this car is 382 horsepower, which this V6 mild hybrid engine generates. But it's substantially higher than your standard trims on X3s and GLCs of the world. So this is actually a G meter, so it actually gives you the G force, which is the gravitational force or G force you're feeling right now, and the dot in the center moves in the direction in which you're feeling the G force. So if I'm suddenly taking a turn at high speed, then this dot will move to the right. If I'm turning left, so that's how the G force usually works. So a good visual cue to have, but not really of high utility if you're not into a lot of performance driving. And then yeah, that's it. I think we're back to the audio station. On the right, you can see that I have the car in park mode and I have the auto hold on, so those indicators are on. And then I'm getting the temperature reading of the engine, the temperature reading outside. It is minus 13 degrees Celsius, so it is quite cold here. And then the mode, now I'm in comfort and in parking mode right now. So that is it, my friends, with the Live Cockpit Professional. It's a 12.3 inch beautiful screen, really sharp display, and I've recorded this in the night time so that you get all the colors quite clearly in this video. It's really sharp display, and it really augments the main display in the center, which is again also a 12.3 inch screen, by the way, and we'll cover that in a separate video. But I have seen the screen on the GLC. It is, I think, I'm not sure, but I think this is bigger than the GLC and bigger than the Q5 for sure. So it's really hands down, I think, the most sharp and most clear digital gauge cluster that I've seen in this class of cars when I was test driving a lot of cars in this segment. So I hope you liked the video. If you have any questions or comments, do leave them below the video. Do give a thumbs up if you think that this was helpful, and if you want to really see more of my videos as and when I release them, please subscribe to my channel. Thanks a lot and have a good day.